What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Devy Royale YouTube channel. I'm your host, as always, Kevin Coleman. We're back today. We're going to be talking about rookie picks and trading them. And so, what we're going to do is I'm going to go through your Dynasty rookie, picks 101 to the 112, and then just go through real life trades that have happened in Dynasty leagues, and we're going to talk about them. We're going to discuss them. We're going to grade them, and we're going to show you what you maybe could get for your rookie pick. I know there's a lot of leagues out there that still have not drafted in their rookie drafts, which is totally fine. I love those leagues, and so we're just going to see what you can get for value, right? And then even knowing what the 101 is Bijan, what could you get for Bijan, right? We're going to go through it. We're also going to go to 2023 seconds and thirds and what kind of veterans you can go grab. So we're going to go all over that in your Dynasty leagues here for you out here at the channel after the intro. So hit that like and subscribe button, and I will check you guys on the other side. All right, so let's dive into this. Let's start talking about how we get our rookie picks out there. And I will say, trading rookie picks can be tough, right? So, understanding value where it's at. That's what we're trying to do here at the channel. Just try to help you there. So, this is the 101. So, let's talk about this. So, this manager received the 101 for Deshaun Watson and Marquise Brown. So, basically, Bijan for Watson and Brown. And I will tell you this right now, the 101 is going for that third tier of quarterbacks, right? So, depending on what your rankings are, and you can find my rankings at Football Guys and at our Patreon, it kind of really just depends on like what you think of like that third tier, right? So we're outside of the Lawrence and the Fields tier, right? So the Dak, you got Anthony Richardson in there now, but obviously he's not going to be drafted here. But you look at like Kyler, Deshaun, Lamar, maybe Lamar. I've seen him go a little bit. Dak, that area, right? So in that tier, you're really seeing kind of you can go get a quarterback plus an asset. So if you have the 101 and you're looking at your roster and you need a dynasty quarterback in Superflex that does provide some upside value, like Watson here, then you go move him right now. Let's say and I know this manager Bootsay or whatever. I know that I guarantee you he values the quarterback position. So Watson probably be expendable. He probably has two other guys that he can plug and play, and then you put Bijan at the 101 in your lineup. So I like this deal for both sides, but this just goes to show you that the 101 is valuable to go get that quarterback, right? That super flex quarterback. That's what it's getting valued as. Now, the 102 here, and again, both of these picks are good to go grab a quarterback, right? And I love this for Jalen Hurts. The 102, Trey Lance and DJ Moore. So you're selling high on Moore and Lance, right? And unknowns. We know Moore, wide receiver 2-ish, low end, but week to week, we don't know necessarily what his points per game is going to be. Then you go on over to, Chicago, which, many people are worried about Justin Fields. Some are not. It just really depends on what camp you're in there. For Hurts, I mean, dynasty quarterback 3 in some rankings. Like I love this value. I love it for the Hurts side. Like if you need a quarterback and you have these assets and you have the 102 and you're looking at there and you don't want to take another rookie quarterback and you can go get Hurts added to your roster, I love this trade. I think this is a great trade for Hurts. On the other side, if they hit at their ceiling, you'll probably win this, right? If Lance comes out and he's a top 10 guy, Moore's a wide receiver 1 and 102, let's say it's Anthony Richardson and he hits as a top 5, then yeah, you'll hit that. But there's so much risk involved. If you can go solidify your roster with Hurts, I think you have to do this deal, right? Now, when you're looking here at the 103, again, I like to show the different kind of deals. So we have 103 Rachaad White. Rachaad White was someone that, like me and Christian Williams from this channel, really were high on last year as pass catcher. They didn't really add anybody, right? So when we're looking at that roster, Rashad's probably valued in that, 15 to 20 mark as the running backs. And then the other side, you have Waller, Godwin, Ramondre Stevenson, 308. I kind of like it for both sides, but I'm going to lean with the quarterback here. So at the 103, like I think that side to me, if you can add that elite quarterback for a running back who, again, I like Stevenson. I think he can smash this year, but he's kind of a one-year asset. Waller, aging, injuries. We've seen that. Who the hell is throwing Godwin the ball, right? Baker Mayfield, Kyle Trask. So to me, I really lean with the 103 and the Rachaad White here. Give me that quarterback, give me that upside running back, and I'm good there. Now, the 104, straight up for ETN. Again, when we're talking about ETN here, we're talking about Travis. Some people are really, some people are worried about Tank Bigsby, some are not. I think it's more of a 60-40 split. But again, if you can move ETN for a quarterback, if you need a quarterback in your Superflex league because you kind of missed or whatever the case may be, I don't mind this trade, right? Like, I think that's what you're looking at here. You're essentially looking at Bryce or CJ at the spot. And if you value them as an elite quarterback in Superflex or a low end quarterback one for ETN, I think you have to do it based on just running back value, right? But again, if you need a running back, you're a running back away, you're sitting at the 104. I don't mind ETN. I think ETN does have some value. I think Tank will eat into it a little bit. But again, this is a good trade both sides. 105 here. So it shows you what happened. Jahmyr Gibbs for Javonte Williams in the 212. Man, I'm going to smash the Gibbs side here. I'm pretty much out on Javonte right now. I cost based on that knee injury and just based on what we kind of know from some insider stuff at Football Guys is the idea of like, we don't know necessarily what that knee is going to look like. And he could have like that Dobbins not ready for the season midway through. You could probably get him for cheaper than this, right? So smash me the Gibbs side here. I think Gibbs, as in my rankings, a top 4 guy in Dynasty. PPR upside, like give me Gibbs in this scenario. So again, if you have Javonte in a late second, maybe you can go get Gibbs at the 105, right? Now, 106 here, I like the consolidation here. So I wanted to show you kind of a deal that looked like this. So the 106 mark is really the end of that first tier, right? Or second tier, depending on who you ask. But when you're looking at it, that's JSN or Gibbs. That's just consistently what it's been. You're going to move back 2 spots, which is probably Quentin Johnston, just based on mocks I've done, or even real drafts. And in the 202, you're looking at a running back or Mayer, Kincaid, maybe if he slips, and maybe Mingo in that area. I kind of lean the 106 because I think it's in that tier that I really want to be in. The 108, 202 is not, I guess it's not a bad consolidation. It kind of depends if it's tight end premium. You could get a premium tight end at the 202. You just take one of those wide receivers that you like, right? Maybe you're not, sold on JSN's landing spot. So I could see it that way, but I do lean as that upper tier 106. I'd rather have that asset. And if I'm going to move the 106, I don't really want the 108 or 202. Give me a real asset, right? Go give me a real dynasty, like a fantasy player, a guy that I can plug and play, not another couple rookies in that. I think 106 deserves to get a better tiered asset in that spot. 107 here. Again, I'm going to throw up Hurts again. Hurts has been in a lot of these deals. And if you want to buy Hurts right now, this is the prices to do it at. The 107, which is outside that tier, right? So we're talking Addison here, Johnston. For Watson, and again, it's second round. Like second round doesn't really necessarily matter to me. 107 Watson, I think that's a fair return. If you think Watson can get up to the top 8 and then you go get that 107 like Johnston or Addison or whoever you want there, I get it, but give me Hurts. Like give me that elite dynasty quarterback in this in Superflex, and I lean on that side. Again, I don't necessarily hate the Watson 107 side. I just think you're selling a little low on Hurts from what we've seen from him in an offense that I think can continually just take off like it is, and especially this year. I mean, Swift's there and Penny and those guys, but Hurts still going to be that main running back, right? They didn't allow that quarterback sneak, so we're going to see him really score at that spot. Now, at the 108, we have Jerry Jeudy and the 24 second for Carr in the 108. To me, this is a weird deal. Give me the Carr and 108 side if this is super flex. And I said, hey, let me know what the league settings are. And they said it was super flex. So if you can get a Carr, low, like quarterback 2, and I want to wait for Jeudy and 20. You better believe Jeudy can be a wide receiver 1 if you're given this deal. Like I'm all aboard the Carr on 108 side because realistically, let's say Jeudy just is a wide receiver 2. You could get a wide receiver 2 at the 108. Plus, you're going to get Carr, who, regardless of what you think of Carr, he's always been a pretty solid, outside of last year, solid QB2 in Superflex for a second. I'll take the Carr 108 side on this one. Now, when you're looking at the 109, we're seeing Jameson Williams 109 paired for Daniel Jones, the first in the 201. Again, essentially, you're getting Daniel Jones. I mean, Daniel Jones and Superflex for Jameson and 109 is probably fair. You're going to add a first onto that and a 201. Yeah, I'll take that all day on that side just to understand like where the pairing of the picks are. Yeah, Daniel Jones first, 201, smash that side for me. 110 here for Deontay Johnson to 210. So this is kind of that re-roll kind of stuff that they talk about. Dynasty and Trades talks about all the time, or Dynasty and 5, excuse me. Like re-roll your wide receiver. You're at the 110, you have Deontay, or vice versa, right? You at the 110, you don't really like that wide receiver. You're going to go buy a Deontay Johnson, who I think is getting undervalued right now based on this. And a 210, just throwing another pick. I'll lean that side. But if you want to kind of re-roll and be like, hey, I want to try to go get another wide receiver at this spot, maybe one of those guys drops. Maybe I like Zay a little bit more than other guys, right? Or maybe I do need that running back. I'm going to go grab it. So I understand both sides here, but that 210 is a little rich for me. I would probably throw in a third, right? Like not a second if I'm doing that. But that's Deontay, I think, is one of those guys that you can go buy right now because I do think that he can put up solid wide receiver 2 numbers. Now, here's another one. Listen, this was shocked me, right? So the 111 for DeAndre Swift, or the 111 to DeAndre Swift for Jonathan Taylor. Man, go buy Taylor right now. Stop watching. Well, don't stop watching the damn video. After this video, if you have Swift in any kind of pick, go try to pair that with Jonathan Taylor, especially at the back end of the first. Man, what are you talking about here with Jonathan Taylor? I think we forgot how good he is. He's 24 still. He's still got probably 2 good elite years left. Running back 3 for me right now, or, when you're looking at just their overall rankings for Swift, who I like Swift. Everybody knows I do like Swift, but injury prone, right? 111, what are we doing here, right? Taylor to me is a smash, and that's Mott. 112, again, just to kind of see some consolidation here. Basically takes Tannehill, who knows what's going to happen. Tennessee's schedule got released today. It does not look easy, right? So they could be 1-5, 0-6 the first 6 games of the year. 112, 109, 209. Just got Levis, right? So you're looking at that 109, 112 outside the tiers that I really want to go outside of. And I compare that to go get the 104, 202. Absolutely. I think this is a smash for that side. I like it because you're going to get an elite quarterback. You can get kind of a tight end, wide receiver, running back, really at the 202. Anything's there. And you want to get, so one thing to talk about too with these picks, you want to be at the 304 earlier, right? 304, there's a clear tier. 304 to 305, there's a tier in that, like a pretty drastic tier. Jeff Bell wrote an article for Football Guys. I wrote one recently too about that tier. Like you want to get picks before that 304 mark or 304 or earlier, right? So I'm gonna side with that side. Now to go through some of these real quick, here's what 23 seconds are kind of going for right now. And again, this is all league dependent. So when people talk about this, just know that, right? Like we're not, you might say, oh, I can't get him for that. You might be able to, right? So Cam Akers and Mixon are going for like early seconds, I would say, in that I saw Desmond Ridder go for the 205, 206 in a super flex league. So if you really need a quarterback and you're kind of desperate, Desmond Ridder could get you that if you have like maybe a second that you're willing to kind of part. If you're a contender, you lost Brady. Like I have a team where I have Tua and I lost Brady off of it, and I got 3rd in the league. I really need that second quarterback, and Ridder might be that guy you plug and play. Maybe Jordan Love, those type of guys. And if Rashad Bateman's going for the 201, so depending on what you think of, like that 201, 202 mark, if you want to buy a Bateman or these other kind of wide receivers, that might be the play you make. Now, when you go to the 23 thirds, you're looking at Michael Thomas. Deontay Foreman, I think, is a good buy. I think so. If you need a running back, I don't hate the Foreman pick. I do think he can kind of have that red zone upside. Jelani Woods, and then Samaje Perine. Like, he did not get any challenges there. He could be the PPR guy. I talked about him like 4 weeks ago as being like a dynasty like sleeper. Go grab him late in your dynasty drafts. And now he's still there, right? And if you're sitting at the 3rd, especially after that 304 mark, if you're sitting after that 304 mark, that is when you go get those veterans. I really feel like at 304 or later, that's when you go attack and go get some of those veterans that have kind of fallen off. Michael Thomas could be the wide receiver 2 on the Saints, right? We know that he's burned people in the past, but if you're sitting at 309, 310, based on who's left on that draft board, Michael Thomas is actually not looking too bad right now. So that's just kind of the idea of like where you can get these guys, especially for those picks. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have done any trades for those picks. Drop them in the comments. I love, grading, commenting, and going over like your trades with you guys. So, drop them in the comments. Let me know what you think. I appreciate you guys watching. Hit that like and subscribe button before you leave. Remember that. Hey, leave us a comment. We appreciate all the support here. Also, I would be remiss not to mention our Patreon. Go jump in it. We're pushing for 200 people in the Patreon. If you like Devy, Dynasty, all of the above, go get in there. Appreciate you guys. We'll check you guys later.